Welcome back, deep divers. I hope you're ready for another philosophical plunge, because today we're picking up right where we left off.
Back in Plato's perfect city, Callipolis, wasn't it?
Yep, that's the one, where everyone knew their place, wisdom ruled, and life was, well, a bit too harmonious, if you ask me.
I have to agree, a little too structured for my liking, but hey, it's Plato's world, we're just living in it.
Exactly. But here's the thing about perfect systems. They rarely stay that way, right? I mean, think about it.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
So today we're diving into what happens when that perfect city, that perfect soul, starts to crack. Those little imperfections that can lead to some pretty dramatic changes.
It's like watching a slow-motion train wreck, philosophically speaking, of course, but trust me, there's a lot to learn from these so-called imperfect systems.
Okay, so before we get too deep into the weeds, let's do a quick recap for anyone who might have missed the last deep dive. Plato was all about that tripartite soul, right? Rational, spirited, and appetitive.
Absolutely, that's the foundation of his whole philosophy. Think of it like a chariot. The rational part is the charioteer, trying to keep those horses in check.
And those horses being?
A spirited horse, representing our ambition and drive, and of course the appetitive horse, those primal desires and urges we all have.
Got it. So in a balanced soul, the charioteer is in control, but what happens when one of those horses, let's say the spirited one, gets a little too, I don't know, feisty?
Well, then you end up with something Plato called timocracy. Basically, a society where honor and military glory become the ultimate goals.
So it's like those philosopher-kings we talked about. They get kind of, I don't know, sidelined by the warrior class.
Exactly. Suddenly, it's not about wisdom or deep thinking. It's about proving yourself in battle, winning at all costs.
It's like the football team taking over student government.
Pretty much. And you know what's interesting? Plato compares the shift to a class of straight-A students being overtaken by, let's say, the star athlete. The focus shifts from the mind to more, well, outward displays of strength.
I can see how that happens. You know, there's always that, I don't know, appeal to the warrior, the hero.
Of course. But here's the problem. When spiritedness overshadows reason, things can get out of hand.
Meaning?
Well, that pursuit of honor, it can easily morph into something a bit more, shall we say, aggressive, a thirst for dominance, even conquest.
So it becomes less about protecting the city and more about, I don't know, just being the toughest guy on the block.
You got it. And as you might imagine, this kind of mindset can lead to some pretty, well, let's just say interesting consequences for the city soul and everyone in it.
Okay, I am officially intrigued. Tell me more. What happens when this pursuit of glory starts to, I don't know, maybe take a different form? What's next in this downward spiral?
It's like that desire for honor, that need to prove yourself. It kind of gets, I don't know, channeled into something else.
Something a little less noble.
Maybe, maybe not, but definitely something more, well, tangible.
Oh, I think I see where you're going with this. You're talking about money, aren't you?
Bingo. We've arrived at oligarchy, my friend, where wealth becomes the ultimate measure of, well, everything.
So instead of warriors, we've got, I don't know, a bunch of bankers running the show.
Not a bad analogy. Power shifts from those who are strong and brave to those who have, well, deep pockets.
And I'm guessing those philosopher-kings we talked about, they're not exactly thriving in this environment.
Not really. Wisdom and virtue, they don't exactly translate to big bank accounts, do they?
I guess not. So what happens to the city soul in this kind of system? Does everyone just become obsessed with money?
Well, it definitely creates a pretty sharp divide between the haves and the have-nots. Plato saw this as one of the big problems with oligarchy.
Yeah, you get a small group hoarding all the wealth and power while everyone else is left, I don't know, scraping by.
Right. The common good takes a backseat to, well, individual gain.
But it's interesting, though, right? Because even today, even though we say we value things like hard work and fairness, there's still this fascination with wealth.
Absolutely. We love those rags to riches stories, the self-made millionaires. It's a bit of a paradox, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we admire those who build empires, but we also worry about, I don't know, too much wealth and power concentrated in the hands of a few.
It's a tension that's been around for centuries, and Plato was definitely grappling with it back in his day.
Okay, so we've gone from honor and glory to cold, hard cash. Where do we go from here? Does it get, I don't know, even worse?
Oh, it definitely doesn't stop there. Buckle up, because next, we're heading into the realm of democracy.
Democracy? Wait a minute, isn't that supposed to be, you know, the good guy? The system of the people, by the people, for the people.
Ah, democracy, yes. It seems like the ideal system on the surface. Everyone gets a say, freedom and equality for all. But Plato, well, he saw a bit of a dark side to all that unrestrained freedom.
Okay, now I'm really curious. What kind of dark side are we talking about here?
Let's just say Plato wasn't exactly a fan of the rule of the mob. He thought that when individual desires run rampant, without any sense of order or discipline, things can start to fall apart.
So it's like everyone's just doing their own thing, chasing their own pleasures, without any thought for the, I don't know, the bigger picture.
Exactly. In a democracy, that appetitive part of the soul, the one that wants instant gratification, well, it's calling the shots.
I can see how that could be a problem. It's like, I don't know, when you eat that extra slice of cake, feels good in the moment, but maybe not so much later.
A perfect analogy. In a democracy, that pursuit of individual desires, it can overshadow the need for, well, structure, for those things that hold a society together.
So what happens in the end? Does it all just, I don't know, implode?
Let's just say it doesn't end well, and that brings us to the grand finale, the bottom of the barrel, so to speak, tyranny.
Tyranny. Okay, now we're talking serious business. This sounds a little, I don't know, terrifying.
It is. It's the logical endpoint of this decline we've been talking about. Imagine a society where fear and oppression are the rule, where one person, driven by their own unchecked desires, holds absolute power.
Yikes, that sounds like, I don't know, giving the worst roommate you've ever had complete control over your life.
You got it. A tyrant is basically the embodiment of a completely imbalanced soul. The rational part is silenced, the spirited part is twisted, and the appetitive part, well, it's running wild.
So we've gone from this vision of a perfect society to, I don't know, a complete nightmare.
It's a stark contrast, and it's meant to be a cautionary tale. Plato believed that understanding how these different systems emerge, well, it can help us safeguard against their dangers.
That makes sense, but I think our listeners are probably wondering right now, okay, how does this apply to me? I'm not running a city-state, and I definitely don't have any, I don't know, tyrannical tendencies.
That's the million-dollar question, and that's exactly what we're going to explore in our next segment. We're going to get personal and see how Plato's insights about the city soul can help us navigate our own, well, inner landscapes.
All right, so we've gone from philosopher-kings to tyrannical roommates. It's been quite a journey through the, I don't know, the highs and lows of the city soul.
It's a fascinating exploration, isn't it? How these different systems, they reflect these potential imbalances within ourselves.
Right, like it's not just about politics. It's about, I don't know, understanding our own inner workings.
Exactly. And remember that tripartite soul, rational, spirited, and appetitive, well, Plato believed that any one of these parts could, kind of take over if we're not careful.
So like if I'm constantly, I don't know, chasing the latest trends, indulging every craving, that's my appetitive side running the show.
You could say that, yep, a little mini democracy happening right there in your soul.
And what about if, I don't know, I'm always trying to be the best, the most successful, always pushing for more. Is that, I don't know, the spirited part taking over?
Sounds like it, yeah, a touch of democracy in your everyday life.
And I'm guessing spending all day, I don't know, binge watching shows and ignoring my responsibilities, that's probably not a sign of a well-balanced soul.
Well, we all have our moments. The point is, we've all got these different parts within us, and it's about, trying to keep them in harmony.
So how do we do that? Do we need to, like, I don't know, go on a silent retreat or something?
It doesn't have to be that drastic. It's really about making small, conscious choices in our daily lives.
Like what kinds of choices? Give me an example.
Well, it could be something as simple as, choosing to read a book instead of scrolling through social media for hours, or maybe opting for a healthy meal instead of that, I don't know, extra slice of cake.
So it's about, I don't know, being aware of those little decisions we make every day and asking ourselves, which part of my soul am I feeding right now?
Exactly. And are you giving each part, its proper due?
It's like making sure everyone at the table gets a fair portion, so to speak.
That's a great way to put it. It's about finding that, I don't know, that sweet spot, that balance where all parts of the soul are working together.
So less about suppressing certain parts of ourselves and more about, I don't know, making sure they're all working as a team.
Exactly. That's the key, according to Plato anyway, to living a fulfilling and meaningful life.
Plato, you've done it again. Well, folks, it seems like we can all learn a thing or two from these ancient Greeks, even if we're not ruling city-states or, writing philosophical treatises.
Absolutely. And I think Plato would be delighted to know that his ideas are still, resonating with people centuries later.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. Until next time, stay curious, stay balanced, and don't forget to feed all parts of your soul, the good, the spirited, and yes, even the appetitive, just maybe not too much cake.